Today, we're going on a journey, not just through music, but through time. We're going to talk about 7 individuals who built a legacy on dreams, pain, perseverance, and a bond that has touched millions. This is the story of BTS, starting on a small stage on June 12, 2013, and leading us to one of the most anticipated moments in their history, their comeback on March 20, 2026. This isn't just about K-pop, it has a story about what it means to fight for a dream when the world tells you it is impossible. When BTS debuted on June 12, 2013, they were a world away from the global icons we know today. They came from a small, struggling company, with very limited resources, and a future that was anything but certain. Imagine being a group of young artists, pouring your heart and soul into your music, but wondering if anyone was even listening. They faced doubts from all sides, even from within. Were their dreams too big? Could they survive in an industry that so often overlooked those who didn't fit the mold? Their early days were filled with struggle. They practiced in cramped, humid rooms, constantly worried about their finances, and faced a barrage of criticism that could have easily broken their spirits. They were told they weren't good enough, that their style was wrong, that their message was too direct. Many in the industry dismissed them. Yet, in the face of all that adversity, they made a choice. They chose to endure. They chose to keep going, not for fame, but because they had something important to say. From their very first songs, BTS spoke with a raw honesty that was rare. They didn't sing about fantasy worlds or perfect lives. They sang about the real struggles of youth, the crippling fear of the future, the immense pressure to succeed, the deep loneliness that can creep in, even when you're surrounded by people, and that nagging feeling of not being good enough. Their music was a direct reflection of their own lives, their own fears, and their own hopes. And in doing so, their music became a powerful voice for millions of young people around the world who felt unseen and unheard. Of course, not everyone understood. Many people doubted their sincerity. They mocked their raw emotions and dismissed their message as just another marketing tactic. But BTS never wavered. They never stopped telling their story, their truth. And slowly, but surely, those stories began to resonate. They found their way into the hearts of people across different cultures, languages, and backgrounds, creating a community of fans who saw themselves in BTS's music. That community, ARMY, became the shield that protected them and the wind that carried them forward. As the years went by, BTS started achieving things that once seemed absolutely impossible. They shattered world records, one after another. They topped global charts, including the Billboard Hot 100, proving that music transcends language. They sold out massive stadiums across the globe, from Wembley in London to Rose Bowl in LA, creating unforgettable nights filled with a sea of purple lights. They stood on stages that no Korean group had ever reached before, breaking down barriers and paving the way for others. Their influence went far beyond music. They were invited to speak at the United Nations, not once, but multiple times, delivering powerful messages of self-love and hope to a global audience. They proudly represented their country on the world stage, becoming cultural ambassadors who showcased the power of Korean art and creativity. Most importantly, they proved that you don't need to sing in English to connect with people's hearts. When music comes from a place of genuine emotion, it speaks a universal language. But it's crucial to remember what was happening behind the dazzling lights and the roaring crowds. Behind every award, every record, and every sold-out show, there were long, sleepless nights, overwhelming pressure, and a level of physical exhaustion that is hard to comprehend. There were also deep emotional struggles, which they courageously and openly shared with ARMY. BTS never pretended that success was a magical cure for pain. They were honest about their battles with burnout, the anxiety that comes with fame, the fear of losing themselves amidst the chaos, and the immense weight of the expectations placed upon them. Instead of hiding these struggles, they did something revolutionary. They turned their vulnerability into a source of comfort for others. Their honesty showed millions of fans that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to feel tired, to feel lost, and to need a break. Their message was clear. Taking time to heal isn't a sign of weakness, but a necessary act of self-love. This level of transparency forged an unbreakable bond of trust between them and their fans. Then came a new chapter, a period of change and transition. The years that followed brought solo journeys. As each member explored their individual artistry, it also brought the fulfillment of their duties through military service, and with it, a period of time apart. For both BTS and ARMY, this was a test of patience, trust, and unwavering loyalty. The world watched, wondering if the magic would fade, if the bond would weaken with distance, but it never did. Even when they were walking separate paths, their connection remained as strong as ever. They left a promise hanging in the air, a promise whispered in their final concerts and written in their letters to fans. They promised they would return, and not just as they were before, but as stronger, wiser, and more grounded individuals, enriched by their solo experiences and the time they had for personal growth. That promise is finally coming to life. On March 20, 2026, BTS is set to make their long-awaited return with their first full studio album since the masterpiece, Map of the Soul, 7. Released back in 2020, since July of 2025, All 7 members have been back together, pouring their hearts into creating new music. They're back in the studio where it all began, but this time, they bring with them years of new experiences, perspectives, and growth. This upcoming album is expected to be their most personal and reflective work yet. It's a musical diary of everything they have endured, everything they have learned, and everything they have overcome, both as a group and as individuals. It will be the sound of their reunion, the story of their time apart, and a testament to their evolution as artists and as human beings. And following the album's release, they will reunite with their beloved Army through a new world tour, turning years of patient waiting into unforgettable moments of shared joy and connection once again. When you look back, from June 12, 2013, to today, the story of BTS is so much more than just a tale of success. It's a powerful narrative of survival, of unwavering sincerity, and of the profound connection that can be forged between artists and their fans. They didn't rise to the top because their path was easy, or because they were lucky. They rose because they walked that difficult path together, hand in hand with ARMY, every single step of the way. Their 2026 comeback isn't just a return to the music scene. It's a reunion of hearts. It's a grand celebration of growth, resilience, and brotherhood. And most of all, it's a beautiful, resounding reminder that even after hardship, after distance, and after time, some promises are always kept. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.